Can't have a party without dancing.
Life of dignity should not be reserved for a fortunate few. It should be one that city government guarantees for each and every New Yorker. If this campaign has demonstrated anything to the world, it is that our dreams can become reality.
Such a good one. Good job, Jazz Dog. Hello, Gamer G. We are so back indeed. Velvet. Hello, Gumbald. Uncle Gumbald. Hello, Punky Gal. Hello, Trains and Bullshit. Hello, do you love the silver-haired god? Hello, Low Clarity. Hello, Mushy Draws Things. Hello, Doc Kaiju. Hello, Firecraft Gaming. Hello, House of Mates. Hello, Penny Auntie. Hello, Summer Lovin'. Hello, Just to Be Here. Hello, JD Eagles. Hello, how we all doing, Kazooie? Tiny Dynamine. Hello, CMH. Hello, Cute Dark Arts. Hello, Erica. Hello, Damned Sputnik. Hello, Underground Uncle. Hello, 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 Depraved Ambiance. How we all doing? Hello, Snoogan. Hello, hello, hello. I made a beef curry, like a Japanese beef curry for the first time tonight, and it was fucking banging. It was so good. There's a weird energy in the air. Elaborate. Did I enjoy my dinner? I thought it was tasty. Just some plain white rice. Got some soy sauce and ketchup in that beef curry. It was so good. I definitely ate way too much of it, which I think is a good reflection on its quality. Very thermal. The air chiller in my building seems to be down. Oh, like a literal weird energy in your air. Okay. Oof. It's true. Gamer G is correct. All of the uncles in chat, all of the unks in chat are gonna have to have a throwdown. There can only be one true unk. Soy sauce, ketchup, and white rice is the whitest thing you've ever said. No, but like like I didn't have any dashi spice, so one of the things you can use to get like that umami flavor is soy sauce, and like ketchup is just kind of like a traditional brightening ingredient in like a lot of, you know, quick and easy like Japanese curries. The furtive unk will rise. Hey, wasn't that a character in Dark Souls? The furtive unk? Entrusted with the Dark Soul? Alright, so folks, we have a couple of like line items that I really want to get to today. Number one being Donald Trump going off script while addressing the UN. So, I think we're gonna do that first, and then we're going to do the rest of Rudyard. Does that sound okay to you guys? Do we have brain rot on hand? We have so much brain rot on hand. You guys don't even have to, like... You guys don't even have to donate for the brain rot today. Our brain rot runneth over. Yeah, like, you know how yesterday we were, like, talking about how, like, he's Bidening at, like, an alarming rate? It's only accelerated, folks. Also, Jimmy Kimmel's back. Jimmy Kimmel's back, and I think that's, you know, it's fine, because I have no strong feelings about Jimmy Kimmel, but what he represents is really good. Also, I'm gonna risk it and just play this off screen. Just imagine Jimmy Kimmel is delivering it.
He's gunning for our journalists too. He's suing them. He's bullying them. Over the weekend, his foxy friend Pete Hegseth announced a new policy that requires journalists with Pentagon press credentials to sign a pledge promising not to report information that hasn't been explicitly authorized for release. That includes unclassified information. They want to pick and choose what the news is. I know that's not as interesting as muzzling a comedian, but it's so important to have a free press, and it is nuts that we aren't paying more attention to it. Walter Cronkite must be spinning in his grave right now. He's dead, right? Yeah. Look, I never imagined.
Hey, Bastion. Also, do I have the other one? I don't have the other one. God. Yeah, it pisses Trump off, and that's really what makes the difference, right? Like, I don't think I've ever seen him this mad on social media. I can't believe ABC fake news gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back. The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled. Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone and his talent was never there. Why would they want somebody back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage? He's yet another arm of the DNC, and, to the best of my knowledge, that would be a major illegal campaign contribution. I think we're going to test ABC on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. A true bunch of losers. Let Jimmy Kimmel rot in his bad ratings. This guy is not okay. This guy is like so not okay that like he can't even add at the end of his rant like don't put in the newspapers that I'm mad. Cause she's just mad. Oh god, it's funny as hell. God. It is genuinely funny. And you know, I didn't click the button, but you know, we're clicking the button now, and you know, just folks, we have to really reckon with the fact that Donald Trump is Bidening at an accelerating pace. You know, like, I understand that when it's your guy, you don't really want to acknowledge that the Bidening is happening. The Bidening is upon us. But it's the Bidening has come for Donald Trump. It's not even. It's just readily apparent after the autism conference just the other day, and now his address to the UN. Which, if you guys haven't heard anything about this yet, it's maybe one of the most insane things I've ever seen in my life. Okay? And that includes the press conference yesterday where he told 300, a country of 300 million people, don't take Tylenol because it will give you autism. It's silly as hell, is what it is. Let me pull this up. Where you at? Where you at in the timestamps here, Trump? There you are. All right. Here's our big sweaty boy.
His Excellency Donald Trump, President of the United States of America. I request protocol to escort His Excellency and invite him to address the Assembly.
His Excellency. Fuck off. You know he had his people come and, like, try and, like, yeah, address him as Your Excellency. He likes the way it sounds. It makes him feel like a big boy. Look at him lumber out there. Keep in mind, guys, he is going out there to address the leaders of the planet. The leadership of all the other countries on the planet, just about. How would one, I don't know, present those thoughts? Let's find out.
Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. And I don't mind making this speech without a teleprompter, because the teleprompter is not working.
Oh boy. Oh boy, are we in for some shit.
I feel very happy to be up here with you nevertheless, and that way you speak more from the heart. I can only say that whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble.
God, he is so fucking orange. I know the orange man bit is, like, overplayed, but, like, you know, some days his makeup is worse than others, and he went real fucking hard on the orange makeup. He genuinely looks like a goddamn Oompa Loompa. Oh my god, he thinks he's nailing this. He thinks he's nailing this thing. Talking about teleprompters. Oh boy. All right. I do wanna say I've seen a couple clips from this. I haven't seen this whole thing, so he's really pleased with himself right here.
Hello, Madam First Lady. Thank you very much for being here. And Madam President, Mr. Secretary General, First Lady of the United States, distinguished delegates, ambassadors, and world leaders. 6 years have passed since I last stood in this grand hall and addressed a world that was prosperous and at peace in my first term. Since that day, the guns of war have shattered the peace I forged on 2 continents. An era of calm and stability gave way to one of the great crises of our time. And here in the United States, 4 years of weakness, lawlessness, and radicalism under the last administration delivered our nation into a repeated set of disasters.
Keep in mind, he's not addressing Americans. He's addressing the United Nations. So, like, he's taking the opportunity to just, like, shit on America and, like, while also wagging a finger at the rest of the world, like, look what you guys did. I gave you a world of peace, and now look how you fucked it up.
1 year ago,
Look, he can't enunciate crises, okay? He can't do it. That's why he has to say crises. Stop being so ableist, chat.
country was in deep trouble. But today, just 8 months into my administration, we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, and there is no other country even close.
He's been on a real tear with this America's the hottest country thing, and, like, I don't understand who fed him this line, or maybe he just thinks that's what the cool kids say these days. America is so skibbity riz Ohio. This guy is a joke. He is a joke. It's true.
America is blessed with the strongest economy, the strongest borders, the strongest military, the strongest friendships, and the strongest spirit of any nation on the face of the earth. This is indeed the golden age of America.
Is it loud
We
enough
are
for you folks?
rapidly reversing the economic calamity that we inherited from the previous administration, including ruinous price increases and record-setting inflation. Inflation like we've never.
Like, again, it's all just lies, right? Like, none of this is, like, he has done active harm to this country. Like, I wanted to pull this up the other day. Like, coffee prices haven't surged this much in decades. Prices jumped nearly 21% compared to the same month last year, the largest annual jump since 1997. And, like, it's the tariffs. It's the tariffs. Nearly all, 99% of coffee consumed in the United States is imported. And a lot of it is from Brazil, a country that has a 50% tariff imposed upon it by Donald Trump. Like, the damage is coming from inside the house.
Never had
The
before.
White House.
Under my leadership, energy costs are down, gasoline prices are down, grocery prices are down, mortgage rates are down,
Lie.
and
Lie.
inflation has been
Lie.
defeated.
Lie.
The only
Inflation
thing
is
that's
going up.
the stock market, which just hit a record high. In fact, it hit a record high 48 times in the last short period of time. Growth is surging, manufacturing is booming.
Food didn't get cheaper. He's just lying.
The stock market, as I said, is doing better than it's ever done. And all of you in this room benefit by that. Almost everybody. And importantly, workers' wages are rising at the fastest pace in more than 60 years.
That is not true. None of this is true.
And that's what it's all about, isn't it?
It's just
In 4
lies.
years of President Biden, we had less than $1 trillion of new investment into the United States.
Yeah, honestly, Spherical Man, who needs a teleprompter or notes when you could just make it the fuck up?
In just 8 months since I took office, we have secured commitments and money already paid for $17 trillion. Think of it, 4 years, less than $1 trillion, 8 months, much more than $17 trillion is being invested in the United States.
Oh,
And
God.
it's now pouring in from all parts of the world.
He's standing... Guys, I need to really emphasize this. He is standing in front of the United Nations, addressing the countries of the world, and lying to their faces, and trying to claim that they're all paying the tariffs. Americans pay the tariffs, not the exporting nation. It's really stupid.
We've implemented the largest tax cuts in American history. And
They all know how it works, by the way. Every single person in that room knows what a tariff is and what it does. And they're all sitting there thinking, oh man, this guy is literally insane. This guy is literally one of the stupidest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. It's crazy.
largest regulation cuts in American history, making this once and again the best country on earth to do business. And many of the people in this room are investing in America, and it's turned out to be an awfully good investment during this 8-month period.
You know, Solazar, excellent question. Does he know that Americans pay the tariffs, or is he just that out of it? And honestly, the answer to that question is likely that he's just that out of it. It does not know about any of this. And the reason I say this is because prior to him being president, he also believed that tariffs worked by other countries paying the tariffs. He's had this idea for decades. And so, like, he's never updated that flawed understanding of what a tariff is, and so he just thinks he's a genius. You know? I think there's a third possibility, which is that he just never had it in the first place. Why does he talk about this at the UN? Because he's fucking nutjob. Like, that's it.
In my first term, I built the greatest economy in the history of the world.
He's treating it as another,
ever.
you know, political rally for his base.
And I'm doing the same thing again.
He
but this
said that
time-
acetaminophen is also known as Tylenol.
Pregnant women don't take it. Not even once. Not even once. Unless you have to, in which case you have a little bit. Just a little bit to take the edge off. Andrew S., thank you for the $5 super chat, and thank you for being the first person today to support this stream. Very much appreciated.
It's actually much bigger and even better. The numbers far surpass my record-setting first term. On our southern border,
That's all fake news by the Democrats. You don't know how a tariff works,
Dumpy
do you,
thinks
bud?
the Boston Tea Party was just the rich settlers' wives getting together one afternoon for tea and crumpets.
It's true. Take whatever the dumbest interpretation is of a historical event.
If I worked for the UN, I would be thinking, and we let the country that elected this idiot has veto power? I was already pissed the US can hold up everything at the UN anyways.
God. So stupid. Like, the damage that is being done is really and truly incalculable. I think I fixed what was happening with my audio line. My phone was right next to the cable.
successfully repelled a colossal invasion, and for the last 4 months, and that's 4 months in a row, the number of illegal aliens admitted and entering our country has been 0.
Also, just throwing this out there, but maybe talking about this to a room full of people, some of whom's citizens are trying to flee for their safety, and you're bragging about this to them. It's very weird. The vibes are bad in this room.
Hard to believe, because if you look back just a year ago, it was millions and millions of people pouring in from all over the world, from prisons.
And now 0 people come here. No people come here, folks.
From mental
We've made America such a disgusting cesspit that no one wants to come here, folks.
institutions, drug dealers, all over the world they came. They just poured into our country with the ridiculous open border policy of the Biden administration. Our message is very simple. If you come illegally into the United States, you're going to jail, or you're going back to where you came from, or perhaps even further than that. You know what that means. I want to thank the country of El Salvador for the successful and professional job they've done in receiving and jailing so many criminals that entered our country. And it was under the previous administration that the number became record-setting, and they're all being taken out.
I'd love to thank the nation of El Salvador for torturing those people whose only crime was coming into our country. I'd love to thank El Salvador for the torture that they provided. Remember when a conservative came in here the other day and was like, well, I don't support torture, but I also don't like undocumented immigrants, so, and then just, hemmed and hawed about whether or not he supported torture for, another, 30 minutes. That is, I think, representative of, a lot of Trump supporters right there.
Have no choice. And other countries have no choice because other countries are in the exact same situation with immigration. It's destroying your country, and you have to do something about it. On the world stage, America is respected again.
I'm sorry. Wait. I'm sorry.
Countries have no choice because other countries are in the exact same situation with immigration. It's destroying your country, and you have to do something about it.
Yeah, that's right. We need a total and complete lockdown on all immigration. No people should cross a border into another nation that they are not a part of, because that is what will bring about true world peace. You know, we have a great example of how successful this was. It's called the Berlin Wall. You know, everyone loved the Berlin Wall. It was such a popular project. You know, no one goes in, no one gets out. Such a good thing. Much beloved wall.
On the world stage, America is respected again like it has never been respected before.
I mean, it is you know, in a way it's true. America is being respected in a way that it has never been respected before. It's just that way is very, very little respect.
You think about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, or 1 year ago, we were a laughingstock all over the world. At the NATO summit in June, virtually all NATO members formally committed to increase defense spending, at my request, from 2% to 5% of GDP, making our alliance far stronger and more powerful than it was ever before. In May, I traveled to the Middle East to visit my friends and rebuild our partnerships in the Gulf and those valued relationships with Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE and other countries are now, I believe, closer than ever before. My administration has negotiated one historic trade deal after another, including with the United Kingdom, the European Union, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, Indonesia, the Philippines, Malaysia, and many, many others. Likewise, in a period of just 7 months, I have ended 7 unendable wars. They said they were unendable. You're never going to get them solved. Some were going for 31 years, 2 of them, 31, think of it, 31 years. One was 36 years. One was 28 years. I ended 7 wars. And in all cases,
What? Name them. Name them. Which wars did you end, sir?
they were raging with countless thousands of people being killed. This includes Cambodia and Thailand, Kosovo and Serbia, the Congo and Rwanda, a vicious, violent war that was.
What are you talking about, man? Ended all of those wars, all of those raging wars that the US was a part of, just all of them were ended. Anyway, a Nobel Peace Prize, please. I also cured autism just yesterday. Nobel Peace Prize? Heaven entry pass?
Pakistan and India,
Oh, there it is.
Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, and Armenia and Azerbaijan. It included all of them. No president or prime minister, and for that matter, no other country has ever done anything close to that. And I did it in just 7 months. It's never happened before. There's never been anything like that. I'm very honored to have done it. It's too bad that I had to do these things instead of the United Nations doing them. And sadly, in all cases, the United Nations did not even try to help in any of them. I ended 7 wars, dealt with the leaders of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help in finalizing the deal. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen.
Oh my god. Oh my
Jack,
god.
I am screaming at my
Oh
computer.
my god.
I am so confused.
Oh my god. You know, I ended so many wars and the UN didn't even call me. They didn't even call me to tell me, good job, Donald, you did it. All I got from the UN was a broken escalator and my wife almost falling over.
But she's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood. And then a teleprompter that didn't work.
Oh man,
These are the two things I got from the United Nations: a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter. Thank you very much. And
I don't think he realizes that they're laughing at him, you know?
By the way, it's working now. It just went on. Thank you. I think I should just do it the other way. It's easier. Thank you very much. I didn't think of it at the time.
Yeah, no, he's speaking at the United Nations, Spaghetti Snakes. This is addressed to all of the world's leaders.
Because I was too busy working to save millions of lives. That is the saving and stopping of these wars. But later I realized that the United Nations wasn't there for us. They weren't there. I thought of it really after the fact, not during these negotiations, which were not easy. That being the case, what is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential. I've always said it. It has such tremendous, tremendous potential, but it's not even coming close to living up to that potential. For the most part, at least for now, all they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter.
Oh my god, it's so pathetic. It's so fucking pathetic. You have the attention of the world, and you're like complaining about teleprompters and escalators and how like the UN body didn't thank you enough for what little you've done, while simultaneously cutting off foreign aid programs that like kept tens if not hundreds of millions of people alive. Like the incompetence, the narcissism, the delusion is truly off the charts. Like if the press conference yesterday wouldn't have gotten a normal president impeached, this certainly should. You know? And why not just take a dump on stage while you're at it?
And then never follow that letter up. It's empty words, and empty words don't solve war. The only thing that solves war and wars is action. Now, after ending all of these wars and also earlier negotiating the Abraham Accords, which is a very big thing for which our country received no credit, never receives credit.
Oh my god.
Everyone says that I should get the Nobel Peace Prize for each one of these achievements.
God. Everybody is saying it. Everybody is saying it. I should get the Nobel Peace Prize. Everyone is saying it. Everyone.
But for me, the real prize will be the sons and daughters who live to grow up with their mothers and fathers, because millions of people are no longer being killed.
Which is why I listed one of my #1 grievances, not getting a thank you from the UN.
In endless and unglorious wars. What I care about is not winning prizes, it's saving lives. We saved millions and millions.
I don't care about winning prizes. That's why I brought up a Nobel Peace Prize. How I should have won it 3 times over. But I don't care about that.
Of lives with the 7 wars. And we have others that we're working on. And
you know, if I was St. Peter, I'd let
many
me into
years
heaven.
ago, a very successful real estate developer in New York, known as Donald J. Trump, I bid on the
I think my organs are trying to throttle my brainstem. I think him addressing himself in the third person in front of the UN is actually causing like my spine to recoil to such a degree that it's choking off oxygen to my brain.
renovation and rebuilding of this very United Nations complex. I remember it so well. I said at the time that I would do it for $500 million, rebuilding everything. It would be beautiful. I used to talk about, I'm going to give you marble floors. They're going to give you terrazzo. I'm going to give you the best of everything. You're going to have mahogany walls. They're going to give you plastic. But they decided to go in another direction, which was much more expensive at the time, and which actually produced a far inferior product. And I realized that they did not know what they were doing when it came to construction, and that their building concepts were so wrong, and the product that they were proposing to build was so bad and so costly. It was going to cost them a fortune. And I said, and wait till you see the overruns. Well, it turned out to be right. They had massive cost overruns and spent between $2 and $4 billion on the building.
I genuinely, I don't know what's happening. Like, he's salty that, like, his real estate company didn't get in on the action to build, like, the refurbished UN building. Like, that is really, he's really taking time to air grievances about that. That's nuts. Dog.
And did not even get the marble floors that I promised
9,
them.
hello.
You walk on terrazzo. Do you notice that? As far as I'm concerned, frankly, looking at the building and getting stuck on the escalator, they still haven't finished the job. They still haven't.
He's getting angrier about the teleprompter and
Isn't it a little early
escalator.
for Festivus?
Yeah, it's time for the airing of grievances, Grandpa. God, this is embarrassing. God, this is embarrassing. Like, as an American, like, how can you watch this and think that any of this makes us look good? Like, if you're a conservative and you watch this, do you think this makes America look good? Or tough? Or scary? Like, this is some pathetic loser shit. This is a pathetic loser move. Hey. It makes conservatives rock hard. I'm sure it does. But, like, this is so fucking stupid.
Finished. That was years ago. The project was so corrupt that Congress actually
Is it
asked
more
me to
embarrassing than a
testify
tan suit, though?
before them on the tremendous waste of money. Because
Octopi,
it turned
thank you
out
for
that
subscribing.
they had no idea what it was, but they knew it was anywhere between $2 and $4 billion as opposed to $500 million with a guarantee. But they had no idea, and I said it cost much more than $5 billion. Unfortunately, many things in the United Nations are happening just like that, but on an even much bigger scale, much, much bigger. Very sad to see whether the UN can manage to play a productive role. I've come here today to offer the hand of American leadership and friendship to any nation in this assembly that is willing to join us in forging a safer, more prosperous world. And it's a world that we'll be much happier with. A dramatically better future is within our reach. But to get there, we must reject the failed approaches of the past and work together to confront some of the greatest threats in history. There is no more serious danger to our planet today than the most powerful and destructive weapons ever devised by man, of which the United States, as you know, has many.
Dog! Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? There's no more serious danger than the most destructive weapons we have, and as you know, we have a lot of them. Dude is implicitly threatening the nations of the world to their face. It is truly disgusting. Is he threatening to nuke people? Yes.
Danger to our planet today than the most powerful and destructive weapons ever devised by man, of which the United States, as you know, has many. Just as I did in my first term, I've made...
Yeah, genuinely, if someone came into this chat and said that comment verbatim, they would get banned for Fed posting.
Containing these threats a top priority, starting with the nation of Iran. My position is very simple. The world's #1 sponsor of terror can never be allowed to possess the most dangerous weapon. That's why, shortly after taking office, I sent the so-called Supreme Leader a letter making a generous offer. I extended a pledge of full cooperation in exchange for a suspension of Iran's nuclear program. The regime's answer was to continue their constant threats to their neighbors and U.S. interests throughout the region, and some great countries that are right nearby. Today, many of Iran's former military commanders, in fact, I can say almost all of them, are no longer with us. They're dead. And 3 months ago, in Operation Midnight Hammer, 7 American B-2 bombers dropped the 14 30,000-pound each bombs on Iran's key nuclear facilities, totally obliterating everything. No other country on earth could have done what we did. No other country has the equipment to do what we did. We have the greatest...
Dude is just like going out in front of the world and like saying, yeah, we got a big dick. We got a big dick. Look at how big our dick is. It's so big and throbbing and vibrant. No other country could have a dick this big. And it's pathetic, man. It's pathetic loser shit. It's pathetic loser shit when people do it about their own dicks. And it's pathetic loser shit when that dick is actually, like, military aircraft.
Midnight Hammer sounds like something Mike Johnson isn't allowed to watch.
It's true. It would alert his son that he's watching pornography. And then he'd have a pretty awkward conversation about it. Also, sorry you're blue. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Folks like you making this stream possible. Thank you so goddamn much.
Weapons on Earth. We hate to use them. But we did something that for 22 years people wanted to do. With Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity demolished, I immediately brokered an end to the 12-day war, as it's called, between Israel and Iran, with both sides agreeing to fight no longer. As everyone knows, I have also been deeply engaged in seeking...
What is the TLDR for this so far? The TLDR for this is that he came out, announced that the teleprompter was broken, and then proceeded to go immediately off script, and is now just doing insane rambling at the entire leadership of the world.
A ceasefire in Gaza, have to get that done, have to get it done. Unfortunately, Hamas has repeatedly rejected reasonable offers to make peace. We can't forget October 7th, can we?
And that's really rude of them. That's really rude of them, because I really wanted another Nobel Peace Prize for that.
Now, as if to encourage continued conflict, some of this body is seeking to unilaterally recognize a Palestinian state. The rewards...
Well, some of this body is not unilaterally recognizing a Palestinian state. Like, if there are multiple people working together, that's not unilateral, is it? Also, again, Hamas is not the one torpedoing the negotiations. Israel is. Literally, they tried to kill and assassinate the negotiating team.
Would be too great for Hamas terrorists for their atrocities. This would be a reward for these horrible atrocities, including October 7th, even while they refuse to release the hostages or accept a ceasefire. Instead of giving to Hamas and giving so much, because they've taken so much, they have taken so much. This could have been solved so long ago. But instead of giving in to Hamas's ransom demands, those who want peace should be united with one message: release the hostages now. Just release the hostages now.
Wow, he's so profound. He's so deep.
Thank you. As we have got to come together, and we will come together, got to get it done. We have to stop the war in Gaza immediately. We have to stop it. We have to get it done. We have to negotiate. Immediately have to negotiate peace. We got to get the hostages back. We want all 20 back. We don't want 2 and 4. As you know, I got, along with Steve Witkoff and others that helped us, Marco Rubio, we got most of them back. We were involved in all of them. But I always said the last 20 are going to be the hardest, and that's exactly what happened. We have to get them back.
Yeah, he always said that, chat. You know, whomst among us can't recall Donald Trump saying the last 20 are going to be the hardest to get? He's been saying it for the last 15 years.
Now, we don't want to get back 2, and then another 2, and then 1, and then 3. Have this process. No, we want them all back, and we want the actually 38 dead bodies back too. Those parents came to me and they want them back, and they want them back very quickly and very badly. As though they were alive, they want them. They want them every bit as much as if their son or daughter were alive. I've also been working relentlessly, stopping the killing in Ukraine. I thought that would be, of the 7 wars that I stopped, I thought that would be the easiest because of my relationship with President Putin, which had always been a good one. I thought that was going to be the easiest one. But, you know, in war...
God, he's so dumb. He's so dumb. Well, the leader of the country liked me, so why can't they just have peace?
You never know what's going to happen. There are always lots of surprises, both good and bad.
War is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Everyone thought Russia would win this war in 3 days, but it didn't work out that way. It was supposed to be just a quick little skirmish. It's not making Russia look good. It's making them look bad. No matter what happens from here on out, this was something that should have taken a matter of days, certainly less than a week. And they've been fighting for 3.5 years and killing anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 young soldiers, mostly soldiers, on both sides every single week, from 5,000 to 7,000 dead young people, and some in cities, much smaller numbers, where rockets are shot, where drones are dropped. This war would never have started if I were president. This was a war that should have never happened. It shows you what leadership is, what bad leadership can do to a country. Look what happened to the United States, and look where we are right now in just a short period of time. The only question now is how many more lives will be needlessly lost on both sides. China and India are the primary funders of the ongoing war by continuing to purchase Russian oil.
Good night, Gamer G.
But inexcusably, even NATO countries have not cut off much Russian energy and Russian energy products, which, as you know, I found out about 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't happy. Think of it. They're funding the war against themselves. Who the hell ever heard of that one? In the event that Russia is not ready to make a deal to end the war, then the United States is fully prepared to impose a very strong round of powerful tariffs, which would stop the bloodshed, I believe, very quickly. But for those tariffs to be effective, European nations, all of you are gathered here right now, would have to join us in adopting the exact same measures. I mean, you're much closer to the city. We have an ocean in between. You're right there. And Europe has to step it up. They can't be doing what they're doing. They're buying oil and gas from Russia while they're fighting Russia. It's embarrassing to them, and it was very embarrassing to them when I found out about it, I can tell you that. They have to immediately...
I guarantee you there's not a soul in this room that thinks this man is anything other than a raving lunatic and an incompetent boob.
cease all energy purchases from Russia. Otherwise, we're all wasting a lot of time. So I'm ready to discuss this. We're going to discuss it today with the European nations, all gathered here. I'm sure they're thrilled to hear me speak about it, but that's the way it is. I like to speak my mind and speak the truth. As we seek to reduce the threat of dangerous weapons today, I'm also calling on every nation to join us in ending the development.
God, it must really be difficult to keep a straight face. I guess that's probably one of the most required skills to have if you work at the UN, but like, damn, dude, he must have been trying them.
Of biological weapons once and for all, and biological is terrible, and nuclear is even beyond, and we include nuclear in that. We want to have a cessation of the development of nuclear weapons. We know, and I get to view it all the time. Sir, would you like to see? And I look at weapons that are so powerful that we just can't ever use them.
I just like... It sounds like he was about to say something like, I look at weapons so powerful they could blow up the moon. Like he was just gonna say something off the cuff, completely unrelated to reality. Have you ever seen the movie Deep Impact? We have weapons that could do that.
If we ever use them,
how long will I be live
world
for? Like
literally
another
might
3
come
hours.
to an end. There would be no United Nations to be talking about. There would be no nothing. Just a few years ago, reckless experiments overseas gave us a devastating global pandemic. Yet despite that worldwide catastrophe, many countries are continuing extremely risky research into bioweapons and man-made pathogens. This is unbelievably dangerous. To prevent potential disasters, I'm announcing today that my administration will lead an international effort to enforce biological weapons convention, which is going to be meeting with the top leaders of the world by pioneering an AI verification system that everyone can trust. Hopefully the UN can play a constructive role, and it will also be one of the early projects under AI. Let's see how good it is, because a lot of people are saying it could be.
Yeah, let's just see how good it is. Well, let's start with the highest stakes you can possibly imagine.
One of the great things ever, but it also can be dangerous, but it can be put to tremendous use and tremendous good, and this would be an example of that.
We have no idea if we could trust it or not, but let's try it out with this extremely high-stakes scenario. How long is this speech? It's like another 30 minutes long.
Not only is the UN not solving the problems it should, too often, it's actually creating new problems for us to solve. The best example is the #1 political issue of our time, the crisis of uncontrolled migration. It's uncontrolled. Your countries are being ruined. The United Nations is funding an assault on Western countries and their borders.
Just, you know, again, he's talking to the United Nations, and he's saying that the United Nations is funding the destruction of Western civilization.
Borders. In 2024, the UN budgeted $372 million in cash assistance to support an estimated 624,000 migrants journeying into the United States. Think of that. The UN is supporting people that are illegally coming into the United States, and then we have to get them out. The UN also provided food, shelter, transportation, and debit cards to illegal aliens. Can you believe that? On the way...
No, I can't. I'm gonna need some citations.
...to infiltrate our southern border. Millions of people came through that southern border. Just a year ago, millions and millions of people were pouring in, 25 million altogether over the 4 years.
Just want to remind you guys, in case you guys have zoned out by now, he's already talked about this. He's actually repeating the subject matter.
Years of the incompetent Biden administration. And now we have it stopped, totally stopped. In fact, they're not even coming anymore because they know they can't get through. But what took place is totally unacceptable. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them and not finance them. In the United States, we reject the idea that mass numbers of people from foreign lands can be permitted to travel halfway around the world, trample our borders, violate our sovereignty, cause unmitigated crime, and deplete our social safety net. We have reasserted.
Yeah, undocumented immigrants are definitely depleting the social safety net. Definitely not, the fact that the president and his political party slashed Medicaid by $1 trillion. Definitely not any of the cuts to the social safety net that the Trump administration has done, like starving children by cutting CHIP.
That America belongs to the American
SNAP benefits. Jesus.
people, and I encourage all countries to take their own stand in defense of their citizens as well. You have to do that because I see it. I'm not mentioning names. I see it, and I could call every single one of them out. You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed. Europe is in serious trouble. They've been invaded by a force of illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before.
This is literally some Camp of the Saints shit. Like, oh, war refugees and people who had to flee their homes to escape, violence and persecution. They're invading Europe. They're invading Europe. As if there's some kind of coherent military force, as opposed to, like, say, desperate people who are hungry and need shelter and want to work and build a new life. Also, yeah, dude's not able to pronounce illegal aliens anymore.
Aliens are pouring into Europe. Nobody's doing anything to change it, to get them out. It's not sustainable. And because they choose to be politically correct, they're doing just absolutely nothing about it.
That's not what being politically correct means, man.
And I have to say, I look at London where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor. And it's been so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law. But
I can't. I didn't know this was going to come up. We're talking about, like, the fact that the mayor of London is Muslim. So they're going to try and pass Sharia law in London. That's not a thing. That is like a crazy white supremacist lie. The kind that you would find on, like, Stormfront. This is some wild shit.
You're in a different country. You can't do that. Both the immigration and their suicidal energy ideas will be the death of Western Europe if something is not done immediately.
Yeah, Muslims have suicidal energy ideas. That, again, he's talking to the leaders of the world, a good chunk of whom have, like, are the leaders of Muslim majority nations. They're being told to their faces that they have suicidal energy.
This cannot be sustained. What makes the world so beautiful is that each country is unique. But to stay this way, every sovereign nation must have the right to control their own borders. You have the right to control your borders, as we do now, and to limit the sheer numbers of migrants entering their countries and paid for by the people of that nation.
Mass amounts of F-Zero Rigers should not be allowed to go halfway across the world. What? That's how the USA was founded? Well, it's fine when we do it.
Yeah, but also don't come here. We came here first. Not except for those other people who were here before us. But don't come here like that. Don't come here like we did.
At the time, they put their blood, sweat, tears, money into that country. and now they're being ruined.
Oh, blood and
Proud
soil?
nations must be
Okay.
allowed to protect their communities and prevent their societies from being overwhelmed by people they have never seen before, with different customs, religions, with different everything. Where migrants have violated laws, lodged false asylum claims, or claimed refugee status for illegitimate reasons, they should, in many cases, be immediately sent home. And while
Beethoven,
we
thank
will
you for the
always have
$5
a big
super
heart
chat.
for places and
Same to
people
you,
that are
Nomi
struggling
Sunrider,
and truly
thank you.
compassionate, answers will be given.
Yeah, quit advocating for Nazi shit.
They're
Indeed.
eating the teleprompters, they're eating the escalators, they're eating the Tylenol of the people who live on Epstein's Island.
It's true. But you know, Donald Trump never had the privilege of going to Epstein Island, so he wouldn't have had the... He
Get
never
your
got to
demented downy
experience the
dog.
Epstein
Pull his
Tylenol.
string and hear the same 5 inflammatory phrases over and over again. All the best words. Covfefe.
He is slurring more than usual, right? That's not just in my head. Also, Sorry You're Blue, thank you for the $5 dono. And Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. You are in the process of redeeming Riverboat chat. Because currently YouTube chat, in a surprising turn, is beating the pants off you guys.
We have to solve the problem, and we have to solve it in their countries, not create new problems in our countries. And we are very helpful to a lot of countries that are just not able to send their people anymore. They used to send them to us in caravans of 25, 30,000 people each. These massive caravans of people pouring into our country.
Man, I love that he's still fucking grifting off of the caravans, the immigration caravans that they were fear-mongering about back in like 2015. Dog, it's crazy. We've time warped back a decade. It probably helps him to feel young again.
Totally unchecked and unvetted, but not anymore. According to the Council of Europe in 2024, almost 50% of inmates in German prisons were foreign nationals or migrants. In Austria, the number was 53% of the people in prisons were from places
I'm
that
sorry, Sam
weren't
Moose.
from where they are now.
No, like, I think it's good. Please, by all means, folks, watch him for signs of stroke symptoms, because... I don't know, I feel like I see it. I feel like I'm pretty convinced that that's what's happening behind the scenes.
Greece, the number was 54%, and in Switzerland, beautiful Switzerland, 72% of the people in prisons are from outside of Switzerland. When you
If only he pulled a reverse Fetterman. What, like he had a reverse stroke and became liberal. I can't.
Prisons are filled with so-called asylum seekers who repaid kindness, and that's what they did. They repaid kindness with crime. It's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. You have to end it now.
Yeah, immigrants only know how to respond to anything with crime. You give them $5 with no expectation of payment in return. They do some jaywalking in your honor. It's crazy. It's crazy how that works.
See, I can tell you, I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell.
How is he slurring this much without any racial slurs?
Well, I think it's because he's actually perfected a way of implying the racial slurs as he speaks. You know, it's truly like a next level racism. Also, let's back this up real quick. And Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. Listen to what he says here.
It's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. You have to end it now. See, I can tell you, I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell.
I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are all going to burn in hell. He says, while addressing all the nations on the planet. He said that while talking to the entire UN assembly. All your nations are going to hell. This is I gotta be honest. This is the beginning of like an SNES era like side-scrolling shooter game. Like this, you know, this is some like, are you a bad enough dude to save the president shit? Like, except at the end of the game, you have to fight the president. All your nations are belong to Satan. It's true. I just... You couldn't write this man as a character and get away with it through your editor, you know?
In America, we've taken bold action to swiftly
Contra
shut down
2025.
uncontrolled migration. Once we started detaining and deporting everyone who crossed the border and removing illegal aliens from the United States, they simply stopped coming. They're not coming anymore.
Oh no, he does mean that they're all going downhill, but like... he's saying that to the entire planet, right? Like, he says it to the entire planet. And it's such a mark of disrespect and, like, disgusting, like, condescension from a man who has done nothing to earn a position of, like, authority over any of the other people in that room. Like, it's so fucking gross.
A lot of credit, but they're not coming anymore. This was a humanitarian act for all involved, because on the trips up, thousands of people a week were dying. Women were being raped. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Rape.
And now we just take those undocumented women and children and men, and we put them into, you know, private for-profit facilities where they get beaten and sexually assaulted, and we make a profit from that. So it's a win-win. Like, they were already going to be abused, and now we get to make money off of it. It's everyone benefits. Like, that is what he's saying right now. And he's trying to frame it as like, oh, good, we stopped rape. But we know that, like, the people that he gleefully sent to CCOT were sexually assaulted. We know that they were physically abused. We know that they were mentally tortured. We know these things. We know that the children in, like, the holding facilities that ICE and, you know, Customs and Border Patrol have, they get abused by the people who work there.
Just looked it up. The 72% Swiss statistic comes from pretrial detention, meaning people accused of a crime, not convicted.
Oh damn, that's crazy. It's almost like every word out of his mouth is a goddamn lie.
Horribly beaten, raped. On the trip up, the journey up, it was a long walk. It was a long, arduous journey, indeed. And it was also a historic victory against human trafficking throughout the region. What we did was a victory. And
it was such a long, arduous walk that we've rewarded with more beatings and sexual assaults.
So many lives of people that wouldn't make the journey. That journey was loaded up with death. Loaded up with death. Dead bodies all along the roads of jungles. To get up, they go through jungles, they go through areas so hot you couldn't breathe. They were dying of suffocation, areas so hot.
And we're gonna send it right back once they get here. You know, they were fleeing violence that was so bad that they went through these areas, but you know, we're gonna send them right back to where they came from, folks. And by send them right back, I mean we're going to hold them indefinitely here in the United States to milk them for profit. That's what we're gonna do. I'm helping out my rich buddies. It's me, Donald Trump. I just love exploiting the poor and marginalized.
That you couldn't breathe. Dead bodies all over. By them not coming.
Neon Knight Riders promised a much cooler 2020.
Oh man, I'm excited clicking on this because you know good video game shit, Sake Tanuki. Thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. What is this? Oh yeah. Turtles in Time is just such an all-time banger of a game. got time-traveling dinosaurs. You got time-traveling pirate ships. You got time-traveling spaceships. You got time-traveling Statue of Liberty. You got time-traveling trains. You got time-traveling surfboards. Surf hoverboards. All of them traveling through time. This is the music that plays in Donald Trump's head whenever he's doing, you know, the weave.
We're saving tremendous numbers of lives. My people have done a fantastic job in doing what they did, and the American public agrees with it.
What in the fuck is he even talking about with this trail of bodies everywhere nonsense? He's trying to talk about how arduous the journey to America is for all of these undocumented immigrants. And he's then trying to frame them, I think, arresting these people and deporting them as a good thing. Somehow. No music, he hears the whoosh of windmills in there. Death, is that you coming for me? Or is it just more windmills trying to give me cancer?
I was very proud to see this morning I have the highest poll numbers I've ever had. Part of it is because
I have not
of what
just
we've
run. It
done
looks
on
really good, though.
the border. I guess the other part is what we've done on the economy. Joe Biden's policies empowered murderous gangs, human smugglers, child traffickers, drug cartels, and prisoners from all over the world. The previous administration also lost nearly 300,000 children. Think of that. They lost more than 300,000 children, little children, who were trafficked.
Hey, also, I have no idea where he's getting that number, and I'm going to assume it's a lie. But fun fact, Donald Trump has lost 1,200 of the 1,800 people who were rounded up and sent to Alligator Alcatraz. This is reporting that came out about a week ago from the Miami Herald, but yeah, 2/3 of the people who went to Alligator Alcatraz, there are no records of them anymore. Their families can't find them, and we just don't know what happened to them. Some of them were deported without like being marked as deported in the systems, but like yeah, 1,200 people are just missing in Florida, and yeah. God. Yeah, he's just so popular now. Look at him go. He's during the first administration he was at -14 and now he's at -17. He's setting higher scores. Look, chat. -17 is more than -14 because 17 is more than 14. He's more popular than he's ever been.
Into the United States on the Biden watch, many of whom have been raped, exploited, and abused, and sold. Sold. Nobody talks about that. The fake news doesn't write about it. With many others, young children who are missing or dead. And we found a lot of these children and we're sending them back, and we've been sending them back to their parents. They said, nobody knows who they are. They said, where do you come from? And they'll give us a country, and we'll find out, and we'll figure it out, and we'll bring them back to their homes. And the mother and father rush to the door, and their tears in their eyes. They can't believe that they're seeing their son or daughter, their little son or daughter again. We've done almost 30,000 of them so far. Any system that results in the mass trafficking of children is inherently evil. Yet that is exactly what the globalist migration agenda has done, and it's what it's all about. In America, those days, as you know, are over. The Trump administration is working, and we are continuing to work to track down the villains that are causing this problem, and also, as I said, to get back the 30,000 we've already returned. Now I think we're going to have another. We're going to find a lot. You're not going to find all of them. 300, more than 300,000. They're lost or they're dead. They're lost or they're dead because of the animals that did this. To protect our citizens, I've also designated multiple savage drug cartels as forest. And you see this, and you see it happening right before your eyes. Let's put it this way: people don't like taking big loads of drugs in boats anymore. There aren't too many boats that are traveling on the seas by Venezuela. They tend not to want to travel very quickly anymore.
Do you have any idea how insane that is to say? Yeah, look guys, we're just blowing up any boats that are in the water in the Caribbean. Look, if you have a boat that's big enough to have any amount of drugs on it, we could bomb it. We could bomb it, folks. This is unironically bragging about extrajudicial murder, about war crimes, about crimes against humanity. You personally ordered 3 strikes on 3 different boats to just kill random people for no reason. You had like an entire Southcom strike group down there. You had the ability to catch up with these boats, to track down these people, and to take them in peacefully. You had the ability to do that, and you didn't. You just blew them up because you suspected they were committing crimes, none of the crimes that they were committing, by the way, had capital punishment as a punishment. This is just like walking up and mowing down a jaywalker. This is the equivalent of like walking into a convenience store and just shooting like someone who's shoplifting. It's insane. And the fact that he's saying it in front of the goddamn UN, every country on earth, this is a disgrace. This is a disgrace to America, and we will be working our entire lives to restore the good faith and goodwill that this man is burning for literally no reason other than to flatter his own ego.
And we virtually stopped drugs coming into our country by sea. We call them the water drugs. They kill hundreds of thousands of people.
You haven't stopped drugs from coming into the country. More cocaine comes into this country than like ever before. So much cocaine is coming into the country that the price has been cut in half, man.
People. I've also designated multiple savage drug cartels as far as foreign terrorist organizations, along with 2...
as forests? I have designated them as forests. They are under the National Park Service.
Drug cartels as far as foreign terrorist organizations, along with 2 bloodthirsty transnational gangs, probably the worst gangs anywhere in the world, MS-13 and Tren de Aragua. Tren de Aragua is from Venezuela, by the way. Such organizations torture, maim, mutilate, and murder with impunity.
Kind of like how you're doing that to undocumented immigrants in the United States. You have masked armed thugs like walking around killing people on the street and abducting them or kidnapping their children and threatening their 5-year-olds. That was a story that came out today. ICE kept the 5-year-old captive.
At least he kept his promise and lowered the price of something.
True, sorry, you're blue. Thank you for the $5 super chat. But ICE agents abducted a 5-year-old child and held her hostage until her dad gave himself up. Like, it's disgusting. Like, this man is like, oh, well, we wouldn't torture anybody, but, like, you just have to look at how, like, the South Korean workers were treated for the 8 days they were in custody, and you know what? They all went home and talked about how they were being tortured, and now South Korea is cutting off billions of dollars of investment into this country. Like, God. And that's like a best case short-term scenario stay in immigration prison.
They're the enemies of all humanity. For this reason, we've recently begun using the supreme power of the United States military to destroy Venezuelan terrorists and trafficking networks led by Nicolas Maduro.
Venezuela. Some Venezuelans, we gotta take them out. They're wailing too hard down there.
To every terrorist thug smuggling poisonous drugs into the United States of America, please be warned that we will blow you out of existence. That's what we're doing. We have no choice. Can't let it happen. They're destroying. I believe we lost 300,000 people last year to drugs, 300,000. Fentanyl and other drugs. Each boat that we sink carries drugs that would kill more than 25,000 Americans. We will not let that happen. Energy is another area where the United States is now thriving like never before. We're getting rid of the falsely named renewables. By the way, they're a joke. They don't work. They're too expensive.
What are you talking about, man? Oh boy. Can we just take a look? Can we just take a look at the amount of money it takes to build a photovoltaic solar panel just over time? It went from, in 1975, being $128 on average, all the way down to now it's, 26 cents per kilowatt hour. Oh wow, you mean it's actually one of the most cost-effective ways of generating energy on the planet? That's crazy.
They're not strong enough to fire up the plants that you need to make your country great. The wind...
Well, yeah, you don't need to fire up a goddamn coal plant if you have a solar plant. Yeah, obviously.
Doesn't blow. Those big windmills are so pathetic and so bad. So
how are they so pathetic? They're like a billion stories tall. Here, can we get like a wind turbine size comparison? Just in case y'all aren't able to like figure this out. Just real quick. Here's a handy little visual so that you can understand how wind turbines, how big and cool and like awe-inspiringly majestic wind turbines are. This is roughly to scale. I want you all to just look at that image and take it in. This one right here in the middle is almost 3 times taller than the Statue of Liberty. And they spin at a huge speed, a high speed. Like, to talk shit about these things when they're also very cost effective is insane to me. Also, let's be real, this man doesn't care about cost effective.
Expensive to operate, and they have to be rebuilt all the time, and they start to rust and rot.
Yeah, unlike coal plants would never rust and rot. No, sir. You know, fossil fuel engines, famous for never getting dirty and needing to be serviced.
Most expensive energy ever conceived, and it's actually energy. You're supposed to make money with energy, not lose money. You lose money, the governments have to subsidize. You can't put them out without massive subsidies. And most of them...
There are few industries on Earth that America subsidizes quite so much as the oil and gas industries.
Built in China, and I give China a lot of credit. They build them, but they very few wind farms. So why is it that they build them and they send them all over the world, but they barely use?
Because they made themselves the global hub of green manufacturing, something we should have done a decade ago. And now we're behind, and we're never going to be able to claim that spot. But like, yeah, you want to sell things to people, man. That's what running a business is.
them. You know what they use? Coal. They use gas. They use almost anything, but they don't like wind. But
Yeah, they use coal and gas because it's a faster method of scaling up their industry. Oh man, this is Russell in my jimmies, chat.
they sure as hell like selling the windmills. Europe, on the other hand, has a long way to go, with many countries being on the brink of destruction because of the green energy agenda. And I give a lot of credit to Germany. Germany was being led down a very sick path, both on immigration, by the way, and on energy. They were going green, and they were going bankrupt. And the new leadership came in, and they went back to where they were with fossil.
Look at this man, so full of mirth and understanding of what Donald Trump is saying.
Fuel and with nuclear, which is good. It's now safe. And you can do it properly.
Oh, China's the world leading producer of wind power, possessing the largest installed wind turbine capacity. Oh wow, that's crazy. It's like he has no idea what he's talking about whatsoever. God. What a perfect man to be Jeffrey Epstein's best friend for like 15 years.
But they went back to where they were, and
They had so much in common.
opened up a lot of different plans.
Both being just absolute dipshits, and also, allegedly, sharing a love of very young girls. Why, I bet Donald Trump would tell Jeffrey about all the times he went into the teenage girl dressing rooms for his pageants, and they would just yuck it up. Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny to violate children. Weirdly enough, he doesn't like talking about that part of his life.
Energy plants, energy producing plants. And they're doing well. I give Germany a lot of credit for that. They've said this is a disaster, what's happening. They were going all green. All green is all bankrupt. That's what it represents. And it's
No,
not...
dog, you just build the storage capacity. You just build up storage capacity so that the green energy generation has a place to be stored, and then you disperse that when it's not being generated for whatever reason.
Politically correct. I'll be very badly criticized for saying it, but I'm here to tell the truth. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm in New York City. I'm feeling a lot safer. Crime, we're getting crime down. And by the way, speaking of crime, Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C.
Dude literally stumbled over saying Washington, D.C. Like, come on. The Bidening is crazy.
Was the crime capital of America. Now it's a totally, after 12 days, it's a totally safe city. Everyone's going out to dinner. They're going out to restaurants. Your wife can walk down the middle of the street with or without you. Nothing's going to happen.
Except maybe she gets hit by a car because she's walking in the middle of the street. Also, just out of curiosity. Oh, here, from 6 minutes ago. Oh man, it's paywalled. It's fine. Yeah, about a month ago, restaurant workers were too terrified to go to work. And, like, the number of reservations in Washington, D.C. dropped by, like, 75%. So, like, oh, yeah, it's you can go to restaurants. It's totally fine. Who wants to go to fucking restaurants now?
My people have done a fantastic job. And, yes, I called in the National Guard. And the National Guard took care of business. And they weren't political.
Why would any of these countries care about this? It's so embarrassing. Well, it is embarrassing. Because none of them do. Outside of just becoming increasingly worried about the stability of America and, like, the reliability of America, like, what I like, if I'm a foreign dignitary and I'm watching this, like, I'm thinking to myself, America cannot be trusted to do anything that it says it's gonna do. America can't even be trusted to, like, hold its word. We have thoroughly soiled ourselves on the global stage.
Correct, but they took care of business. We got 1,700 career criminals out, brought them back to where they came from, the countries where they came from, or put them in jails. Washington, D.C. is now a totally safe city again, and I welcome you to come. In fact, we'll have dinner together at a local restaurant, and we'll be able to walk. We don't have to go by an armor-plated vehicle. We'll walk right over there from the White House. They've given up their powerful edge, a lot of the countries that we're talking about, in oil.
But you might have to put up with some women telling me I'm the Hitler of our time or something, folks, but it's fine.
Reducing the number of reservations has always been dream. The founding fathers gave too much to the indigenous population.
Oh god. Sake, that was good. That was good. Thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. God. It is true. If you brought up a decline in reservations to him, he would probably just say, good, it's about time they lost some of that land.
And gas, such as essentially closing the great North Sea oil. Oh, the North Sea, I know it so well. Aberdeen was the oil capital of Europe, and there's tremendous oil that hasn't been found in the North Sea. Tremendous oil. And I was with the Prime Minister I respect and like a lot, and I said, you're sitting with the greatest asset. They essentially closed it by making it so highly taxed that no developer, no oil company can go there. They have tremendous oil left, and more importantly, they have tremendous oil that hasn't even been found yet. And what a
They had, look, I have a nose for these things, folks. I was sailing in the North Sea, and, you know, I have a nose for it. I smelled the oil. I swear to God, I smelled the oil. It was 12 miles down there, but I smelled it, folks.
a tremendous asset for the United Kingdom. And I hope the Prime Minister is listening, because I told it to him 3 days in a row. That's all he heard. North Sea oil, North Sea, because I want to see them do well. I want to stop seeing them ruining that beautiful Scottish and English countryside with windmills and mass.
Dude, he's so fucking mad that Scotland is trying to build wind turbines near his goddamn golf course in Scotland. Like, the reason he's fixated on this is because he wants real estate where you can't see wind turbines. That's it. That's how stupid he is. That's how stupid the level he's operating on is. God! Organize, folks. You guys gotta start organizing locally. We cannot be caught with our pants down again and have, like, a moron like this get into anywhere close to power. Like, if we allow that to happen again in our lifetimes, what the hell are we doing?
Solar panels that go 7 miles by 7 miles, taking away farmland.
I'm sorry I zoned out reading my manga about a girl who's isekai'd into the ancient Hittite Empire and keeps having hot princes and Tay ancient world fighting over her. Is he still sundowning?
Oh, he's sundowning so hard, Lily Love stuff. Again, a lot of this, if you guys missed the opening moments of this, a lot of his rambling here makes a lot more sense when you know that his teleprompter was actually broken, and so he's just shooting from the hip this entire time. It is truly his unadulterated stream of consciousness.
America. In 1982, the executive director of the United Nations Environmental Program predicted that by the year 2000, climate change would cause a global catastrophe. He said that it will be irreversible, as any nuclear holocaust would be. This is what they said at the United Nations. What happened? Here we are. Another UN official stated in 1989 that within a decade, entire nations could be wiped off the map by global warming. not happening. You know,
sea levels are rising, man. You even built accordingly at your resorts. Like, shut the fuck up, dude.
I want to meet the person who hit the button on the escalator and teleprompter.
What a hero. What a hero right there.
it used to be global cooling. If you look back years ago in the 1920s and the 1930s, they said, global cooling will kill the world. We have to do something. Then they said global warming will kill the world. But then it started getting cooler. So now they could just call it climate change, because that way they...
It's not getting colder, man. The average temperature of the planet is climbing every year. How have we been talking about this topic for a quarter of a century? Like, not even longer, obviously, but like for it's been a quarter of a century since Al Gore explained to all of us an inconvenient truth. And now we're 25 years later, and the biggest dipshit on the planet is monopolizing a platform to talk to all the leaders of the world in order to talk about how climate change isn't real. He's addressing world leaders and trying to argue that climate change isn't real.
Can't miss. It's climate change. Because if it goes higher or lower, whatever the hell happens, there's climate change. It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion. Climate change, no matter what happens, you're involved in that. No more global warming, no more global cooling. All of these predictions made by the United Nations and many others, often for bad reasons, were wrong. They were made by stupid people that have cost their countries fortunes and given those same countries no chance for success. If you don't get away from this green scam, your country is going to fail. And I'm really good at predicting things, you know? They actually said during the...
Are you? Then explain Trump steaks, motherfucker. I want you to explain Trump steaks if you are so good at predicting. I want you to explain the 13 bankruptcies you've had if you're so good at predicting. The Irish Star from 2 days ago. Trump accused of raging dementia display at Charlie Kirk Memorial with inappropriate moment. It's been nonstop, Mr. Anderson. It really has. It's crazy.
The campaign, they had a hat, the best-selling hat. Trump was right about everything. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's...
Because we did something about it. We stopped polluting so hard. It's like turning the faucet off and then saying water doesn't exist, so we should turn IT back on.
It is demented. It really is.
Trump steaks. Sold at the Sharper Image, an electronics store.
Well, you know, Sake Tanuki, whomst among us hasn't been at an electronics store, like a Radio Shack, say, and looked around and said, boy, I love buying these radio components, but wouldn't it be better if I could buy a steak? You know? Like, what if you could just walk to the back of your local Radio Shack and find a freezer full of steaks? That's truly the American dream right there. You buy your steak, you throw it on top of a particularly hot CPU, and bada bing bada boom, 3 hours later you've got a lukewarm raw steak. It's brilliant. Brilliant plan. The steaks have never been shittier, indeed. Oh god, it's so true, Lady Rancloud. It's so fucking true. The damage is incalculable. And Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. And Nomi Sunrider, thank you for the $10 super chat. Very much appreciated. God, we're almost done with this, folks.
True. I've been right about everything. And I'm telling you that if you don't get...
I also can we take a moment to acknowledge that he just said, like, Trump's right about everything. I don't say it in a braggadocious way, but I've been right about everything. Like, I mean, like, this is someone having like a megalomaniacal episode, you know? Like, this is some next level mental illness on display, and I don't know what to put it down to. I'm not like an expert by any means, but like, is braggadocious a real word? Yes, it is. But like, to brag about how you're right about everything and like they made a hat about it when you're like, you're maybe one of the world's wrongest men, is I don't know, it's pretty braggadocious.
Away from the green energy scam, your country is going to fail. And if you don't stop people that you've never seen before, that you have nothing in common with, your country is going to fail. I'm the President of the United States, but I worry about Europe. I love Europe. I love the people of Europe. And I hate to see it being devastated by energy and immigration.
Yeah, you know, it's so terrible that the Europeans have access to cheap, affordable energy that doesn't need to be mined out of the ground and burned. It's so terrible that they have access to that, and you know, it's really saddening to see the labor force of all of the European nations grow. It truly rends the heart knowing that they're gonna have a surplus of labor. The pangs and arrows of having a surplus of a necessary resource. Whomst among us hasn't experienced this when playing Settlers of Catan?
Double-tailed monster destroys everything in its wake, and they cannot let that happen any longer. You're doing it because you want to be nice. You want to be politically correct, and you're destroying your heritage. They must take control strong.
I really want someone in the audience to stand up and ask him about Jeffrey Epstein. Can you imagine how much that would just like completely throw him off? Like man, I'd love to see it.
Strongly and immediately of the unmitigated immigration disaster and the fake energy catastrophe before it's too late. The carbon footprint is a hoax made up by people with evil intentions.
I like, what the hell is this, guys? Like, the amount of carbon being expelled into the atmosphere is a hoax. Like, someone, they need like the little crook, like the shepherd's crook, to like pull him off the stage. Like, he's like one bad day away from putting on a tinfoil hat.
And they're heading down a path of total destruction. You know, the carbon footprint was a big thing a few years ago. I remember hearing about the carbon footprint, and then President Obama would get into Air Force One, a massive Boeing 747, and not a new one, an old one with...
Yeah, because he's the fucking president, man. Like, no one was gonna stop air travel entirely. But like, we need to reform our society accordingly before our planet is uninhabitable.
Old engines that spew everything into the atmosphere. He talked about the carbon footprint. We must do so. Then he'd get in and
yeah, it really is crazy, Hypervisor, that the president of the United States is somehow a chemistry expert that has discovered that all of chemistry is fake.
Fly from Washington to Hawaii to play a round of golf.
Surprisingly, no rant about trans people.
And then he'd get back onto that big, beautiful plane, and it'd fly back, and it'd talk about, again, global warming and the carbon footprint. It's a con job. At extreme cost and expense, Europe reduced its own carbon footprint by 37%. Think of that. Congratulations, Europe. Great job. You cost yourself a lot of jobs, a lot of factories closed, but you reduce the carbon footprint by...
Why would anyone ever work with this man on anything? Why would you do it? What's to be gained
Jesus,
here?
why hasn't the cabinet enacted the 25th Amendment yet is beyond me. Trump is dementia-ridden and is the final decider in launching nukes. We are cooked.
Oh, Simric, it's because they're all afraid of his cult of personality. If he did not have as strong a cult of personality as he has, he would have been impeached a long time ago. He would have been impeached. He would have been 25th Amendmented. Like it'd be so much faster. But he has this weird hold on the Republican electorate, and it's a hold that no one else in the Republican Party can replicate. And like, so we are all held in thrall to this absolute lunatic.
37%. However, for all of that sacrifice and much more, it's been totally wiped out and then some by a global increase of 54%. Much of it coming from China and other countries that...
Oh, okay, so carbon footprints are real. Like, if you're talking about how it's wiped out by China and other countries that have industrialized rapidly, like, so it's not a fake thing invented by evil scientists.
Are thriving around China, which now produces more CO2 than all the other developed nations in the world. So all of these countries are working so hard on the carbon footprint, which is nonsense, by the way. It's nonsense.
It's all nonsense, but at the same time, it got wiped out because some people have bigger carbon footprints than others. But it's all nonsense. Don't worry about it.
No, it's interesting. In the United States, we have still radicalized environmentalists, and they want the factories to stop. Everything should stop. No more cows. We don't want cows anymore. I guess they want to kill all the cows. They want to do things that are just unbelievable, and you have it too.
What are you talking
but
about?
You know, we have a border strong, and we have a shape. And
oh my God, we have a border strong, and we have a shape. Guys, he's Bidening so hard that he feels the need to talk about that America has a geometric shape to it.
That shape doesn't just go straight up. That shape is amorphous when it comes to the atmosphere. And if we had...
What the fuck are you talking about?
The most clean air, and I think we do. We have very clean air. We have the cleanest air we've had.
You see these hands? You think I don't have a massive carbon footprint? Trust me.
Do these look like strong hands? Strong, carbon-filled hands? America has the cleanest air. That's why we're bringing back smog. We can't have cleaner air than everyone else. They'll get jealous.
In many, many years. But the problem is that other countries, like China, which has air that's a little bit rough.
Yeah, but we have clean air because we had clean air regulations to prevent companies from poisoning our oxygen, man.
It blows. And no matter what you're doing down here,
Jesus.
The air up here tends to get very dirty because it comes in from other countries where their air isn't so clean.
Yeah, because it's a global problem. And also, hey, remember when you said how, like, oh man, new parts of the planet are getting colder? Might that be, and I'm just spitting out there, if you can recognize that smog created in one country might blow into another country, can you not also recognize that cold air in one area might blow into another area due to changing air patterns due to climate change? That's why they call it climate change now. Because the climate is so fucked up that air is traveling in ways it hasn't before. Almost said hitherto like an asshole.
And the environmentalists refuse to acknowledge that. Same thing with garbage. In Asia, they dump much of their garbage right into the ocean. and over about a 1 week and 2 week journey, it flows right past Los Angeles. You've seen it. Massive amounts of garbage, almost too much to do anything about, flowing past Los Angeles, past San Francisco, and then somebody will get in trouble because he dropped a cigarette on the beach. The whole thing is crazy.
You're right. We should have stronger and better regulations for factories, while also continuing to have anti-littering ordinances. But hey, I'm spitballing here, but which president recently has deregulated on like dumping material into the environment? Was it Donald Trump? Oh, it was Donald Trump. It was the Donald.
The primary effect of these brutal green energy policies has not been to help the environment, but to redistribute manufacturing and industrial activity from developed countries that follow the insane rules that are put down to polluting countries that break the rules and are making a fortune. They're making a fortune. European electricity bills are now 4 to 5 times more expensive than those in China, and 2 to 3 times higher than the United States. And our bills are coming way down. You probably see that our gasoline price.
All energy prices are going up. All energy prices in the United States are going up because of his goddamn tariffs.
Prices are way down. You know, we have an expression, drill, baby,
Nós reduzimos os custos de energia porque nós faremos vamos fazer tudo isso e reduzir os custos de energia e os custos diminuíram nos Estados Unidos. Por exemplo, se você olhar nos países faturas de energia.
I don't know why there's a second audio cutting in.
Nós não mas nós nos Estados Unidos conseguimos usar eles e evitar.
I mean, it sounds like a translation.
You think I don't know about dumping? Have you seen me on the golf course? I know all about dumpies.
I have big, beautiful dumps, folks. Just the dumpiest. The dumpiest dumps. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. Thank you very much for helping to make this stream possible.
Aumento da temperatura, porque é muito caro também usar
all in the name of pretending to stop the global warming hoax. The entire globalist concept of asking successful industrialized nations to inflict pain on themselves and radically disrupt their entire societies must be.
Well, the Western societies agreed that that's what they should do. This wasn't being asked by developing nations of Western nations. Western nations decided to do this themselves. And like, also, I'm just gonna throw out there, like, Western nations were also like offshoring jobs at record rates in order to like get away from the labor costs of doing business in the Western world, as well as getting away from environmental dumping laws that was getting in the way of their profitability in the Western world. Like, this is all just fucking capitalism. And we have ways of dealing with all these problems.
Rejected,
but not when you misidentify it as just like, oh, it's all just woke.
And totally, and it must be immediate. That's why in America I withdrew from the fake Paris Climate Accord, where, by the way, America was paying so much more than every country. Others weren't paying. China didn't have to pay until 2030. Russia was given an old standard that was easy to meet, a 1990 standard. But for the United States, we're supposed to pay like $1 trillion. And
yeah, there's no way we could get $1 trillion, folks. There's just no way. You know, we had to cut Medicaid by $1 trillion, but you know, that money had to go to the wealthy, all right? It had to go to the richest people on earth. They needed more gold bars, folks. You wanted my rich friends to not have enough gold bars? What? So they can look so provincial and peasant-like?
I would pay so much money to hear the translators with subtitles for this.
True, Sake. Oh man, to be a fly on the wall in like the post this speech back rooms of the UN. Oh my god. You just know they were all like shaking their heads going like, what the fuck?
I said, this is another scam. The fact is, the United States has been taken advantage of by the world for many, many years, but not any longer, as you probably noticed. I unleashed massive energy production and signed historic executive orders to hunt for oil, but we don't have to do much hunting because we have the most oil of any nation anywhere, oil and gas in the world. And if you add coal, we have the most of any nation in the world. Clean, I call it clean, beautiful coal. You can do things today with coal that you couldn't have done 10 years ago, 15 years.
You know, I want someone to call him out on this. I want someone to call him out on this, okay? Like, he's been using this talking point for like 10 years now. Like, call him out on this. I want him, okay, like, hotbox some clean coal for us. You know, like, show us how clean it is. We're gonna burn this coal. You're gonna be locked into this airtight chamber with it, and you breathe it. I want to demonstrate how clean the coal is, sir. God.
So I have a little standing order in the White House. Never use the word coal, only use the words clean, beautiful coal. Sounds much better, doesn't it?
Does it? Does calling it clean, beautiful coal make it sound better? Because it doesn't.
But we stand ready to provide any country with abundant, affordable energy supplies if you need them, when most of you do. We're proudly exporting energy all over the world. We're now the largest exporter. In the United States, we want trade and robust commerce with all nations, everybody.
Also, I'm just throwing this out there. If your goal is to say lower oil prices, why are you exporting oil? Like, if your goal is to bring down those oil prices at the pump, why are you exporting it to other countries? You could just have it domestically and lower the prices. Kind of seems like your goal isn't cheaper energy, actually.
We want to help nations. We're going to help nations. But it must also be fair and reciprocal.
Sorry.
The challenge with trade is much the same with climate. The countries that followed the rules, all their factories have been plundered. It's really sad to watch. They've been broken. They've been broken by countries that broke the rules. That's why the United States is now applying tariffs to other countries, and much as these tariffs were for many years applied to us, uncontrollably applied to us.
The fucking gall to say that when you're when you're imposing like a 50% tariff on all goods imported from Brazil. Again, the tariffs are being imposed on our side, not on their side. Like, the tariffs are paid by Americans, not the foreign nationals. Like, it's so fucking stupid.
We've used tariffs as a defense mechanism under the Trump administration, including my first term, where hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs were taken in. And by the way, we had the lowest inflation, and now we have very low inflation. The only thing different is that we have hundreds of billions of dollars flowing into our country. But this is how we will ensure that
they're not flowing into our country. The dollars aren't being paid by foreign nationals. They're being paid by the importers. The people who pay to import are the ones who are being taxed by the tariffs. How are we 9 months into 2025 and he's still going out there and spreading this garbage. How? God, get Grandpa to bed. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing on just the bare bones facts of the matter.
%50 tariffs on Brazil? What will we do without all those big beautiful Brazilian butt lifts?
I know, it's going to be devastating.
System works for everyone and is sustainable into the future.
He knows, but he doesn't care. I don't think he actually knows. Because this is consistent with what he has believed about tariffs for like the last 25 years. Like, I genuinely don't think... I want, more than anything in like the field of journalism right now, I want on camera someone to ask him how a tariff works. I want to hear him try and sketch it out, because I don't think he can do it, because I don't think he knows what a tariff is. Put him on the spot and ask him a question during a live interview.
We're also using tariffs to defend our sovereignty and security throughout the world, including against nations that have taken advantage of former U.S. administrations for decades, including the most corrupt, incompetent administration in history, the sleepy Joe Biden administration.
Dog, you cannot call Joe Biden sleepy when you're coming to this speech with this level of energy and this level of advanced dementia. Like, you can't do that. Bro, look in the mirror. Look at what you've become. Look at what I've become, my dearest friend. Everyone I love goes away in the end.
Brazil now faces
my empire of Eep.
Major tariffs in response to its unprecedented efforts to interfere in the rights and freedoms of our American citizens and others, with censorship, repression, weaponization, judicial corruption.
Dog, the level of projection from this motherfucker is crazy.
And targeting of political critics in the United States. I have a little problem saying this because I must tell you, I was walking in and the leader of Brazil was walking out. We saw him and I saw him, he saw me, and we embraced. And then I'm saying, can you believe I'm going to be saying this in just 2 minutes? But we actually agreed that we would meet next week. We didn't have much time to talk, like about 20 seconds. They were in retrospect, I'm glad I waited because this thing didn't work out too well. But we did talk, we had a good talk, and we agreed to meet next week, if that's of interest. But he seemed like a very nice man, actually. He liked me, I liked him. But if you, and I only do business with...
Oh my God, it's so fucking stupid.
With people I like, I don't...
All you have to do to get on his good side is, like, flatter him and give him like the bro tap, and like he will be dog walked for you. Oh yeah, no, he has no idea who Lula is whatsoever.
When I don't like him, I don't like him. But we had, at least for about 39 seconds, we had excellent chemistry. It's a good sign. But also in the past, Brazil, can you believe this, unfairly tariffed our nation, but now because of our tariffs, we are hitting them back, and we're hitting them back very hard. As president, I will always defend.
Again, you know, if we're going to talk specifically about Brazilian tariffs on, you know, on U.S. citizens, you know, price of coffee has jumped 21% over the past year, largely in response to the tariffs. And oh wait, it's because anything imported from Brazil is a 50% goddamn tariff. It's so dumb.
Their national sovereignty and the rights of American citizens. So I'm very sorry to say this, that Brazil is doing poorly and will continue to do poorly. They can only do well when they're working with us. Without us, they will fail, just as others have failed.
But I like them so much. But also, you need us, otherwise your country's going to go down the shit pipes. Okay.
It's true. Next year, the United States will celebrate the 250th anniversary of our glorious independence, a testament to enduring power and American freedom and spirit. We will also be proudly hosting the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and shortly thereafter the 2028 Olympics, which is going to be very exciting. I hope you all come. I hope that countless people from all over the globe will take part of these will be great celebrations of liberty and human achievement, and that together we all can rejoice in the miracles of history that began in July 4th, 1776, when we founded the light to all nations. And it's something really that an amazing thing came out of that date. It's called the United States of America. In honor of this momentous anniversary, I hope that all countries who find inspiration in our example will join us in renewing our commitment, values, and those values really that we hold so dear together.
He holds no values dear other than the values of his own goddamn ego.
Let us defend free speech and free expression. Let us protect religious liberty, including for the most persecuted religion on the planet today. It's called Christianity.
Yes, the most popular religion on the planet is very persecuted. The largest religion on the face of the earth, so oppressed. God.
And let us safeguard our sovereignty and cherish qualities that have made each of our nations so special, incredible, and extraordinary. In closing, I just want to repeat that immigration and the high cost of so-called green renewable energy is destroying a large part of the free world and a large part of our planet. Countries that cherish freedom are fading fast because of their policies on these two subjects.
I mean, I would say our nation is fading fast because of Donald Trump's policy proposals and, like, priorities.
You need strong borders and traditional energy sources if you are going to be great again. Whether you have come from north or south, east or west, near or far, every leader in this beautiful hall today represents a rich culture, a noble history, and a proud heritage that makes each nation majestic and unique, unlike anything else in human history or any other place.
The UN normally allows 1/4 of this time per world leader, and they had other stuff to do yesterday.
Yeah, no, this was a 12-hour-long live stream of UN leaders talking, and like you can go through and you can see how long some of these leaders talked, and it was a fraction of the time that Donald Trump did. Like, oh look, it took like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Donald Trump talked for over an hour.
On the face of the earth. From London to Lima, from Rome to Athens,
what did they talk
from Paris
about? Just a lot
to
of
Seoul,
shit.
From Cairo to Tokyo and Amsterdam to right here in New York City, we stand on the shoulders of the leaders and legends, generals and giants, heroes and titans who won and built our beloved nations,
Also,
all of our
Sake
nations,
thank you for the 5 tier 1
with their
subs.
own courage, strength, spirit, and skill. Our ancestors climbed mountains, conquered oceans, crossed deserts, and trekked over wide open plains. They charged into thunderous battles, plunged into grave dangers, and they were soldiers and farmers and workers and warriors and explorers and patriots. They built towns into cities, tribes into kingdoms, ideas into industries and
genuinely, what the fuck is he yapping about? What? Who gives a shit? Just end your speech, man.
small islands
How
into
much Tylenol did they give this man before he went up?
mighty empires. You're a part of all of that. They were champions for their people who never gave up and who never, ever gave in. Their values defined our national identities. Their visions forged our magnificent destiny. Everybody in this room is a part of it in your own way. Each of us inherits the deeds and the myths, the triumphs, the legacies of our own heroes and founders who so bravely showed us the way. Our ancestors gave everything for homelands that they defended with pride, with sweat, with
We
blood.
love the Titans here, folks. From the colossal Titan, to the founding Titan, to the Titan shifters.
I'm not gonna lie, this is a lot of mental damage. Donald Trump loves Titans because the first 3 letters spell tit.
With life and with death. Now the righteous task of protecting the nations that they built belongs to each and every one of us. So together let us uphold our sacred duty to our people and to our citizens. Let us protect their borders, ensure their safety, preserve their cultures, treasure, and traditions, and fight, fight, fight for their precious dreams and their cherished freedoms. And in friendship and really a beautiful vision, let us all work together to build a bright, beautiful planet, a planet that we all share, a planet of peace and a world that is richer, better, and more beautiful than ever before. That can happen. It will happen. It will happen, and I hope it can happen and start right now, right at this moment. We'll turn it around. We're going to make our countries better, safer, more beautiful. We're going to take care of our people. Thank you very much. It's been an honor. God bless the nations of the world. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye. I better get that Nobel Peace Prize. We have a lot of nukes, folks. A lot of nukes.
On behalf of the Assembly, I wish to thank the President of the United States.
God, what a lumbering sack of shit. So, yeah. The Bidening has gotten, I think, accelerantly worse. Like we are putting a brick on the accelerator here in terms of how he's doing mentally these days. And I'm not gonna lie, my intention going live today was to Rudyard, and I gotta be honest, it's now 2 o'clock in the morning because that took us 2 hours plus to get through, and I'm just absolutely exhausted. That took all of my mental fortitude just to sit through. That was terrible. Oh my god, that was bad. Holy shit. Oh, Holly Hoops, we'll do more of the Drifter tomorrow, and we'll do some Rudyard tomorrow, and we'll also do other news tomorrow as well. But like, damn, that guy stinks. He's stinky. He's a stinky loser butt. How can anyone look at that big sweaty boy and think he's good? Like, oh man, look at that, look at how that entire room respects him now. And it's just like, not a single damn soul in that room respects him. It's crazy that you come to that conclusion. That's insane. Oh boy. Bring back you know, if you really want to make America great again, bring in tomatoes to throw at people who stink. You know? We used to be a real country where you could throw tomatoes at somebody who's doing a bad job on a stage. Yeah, whiny little loser dick energy. It's crazy. Anyway, if you got anything out of this stream today, hit the like button, hit the comment button, hit the subscribe button, do the button thing, and also consider dropping those subs, donos, memberships, super chats, etc., folks, because you guys make this show possible, and I could not do it without you. And I would try and push myself further, but I can feel my eyes trying to close, and that's just not conducive to a good show for you all. You know, you don't want me to fall asleep mid-seggy. So, I feel no richer personally for having sat through that. That's fair, Salmon Moose. That's not on you? I mean, it's a little bit on me. MAGA is worried about Jimmy Kimmel. What Trump does isn't on their radar. They're too busy winning. I mean, it is funny, right? Like, Jimmy Kimmel represents such a goddamn defeat for this administration. And the fact that he goes to the UN on the same day that, like, Jimmy Kimmel comes back and he's, like, trying to talk all tough about how we have the nuclear weapons. We have technology you couldn't even imagine to do violence to you, so you better work with us, because the only way you're gonna be great is if you work with us. And it's like, bitch, you couldn't even end a comedian's career. What are you doing? She's eepy? I'm so eepy, Blue Phoenix. Folks, do the things. You know the drill. Take good care of each other. Love each other. Seek to broaden your understanding. Never stop being curious. And I will see you all on a new day. Bye, everybody. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da-da. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-boo-ha!